noticed that some of the most dependable people at work are also the most overwhelmed. They are the ones people go to when their task is late, when someone is confused, when the manager needs something done fast, when nobody else wants to deal with it. And at first, it feels good. People trust you. They need you. You are the person who can handle things. But then something changes. Your own work starts getting pushed back. Your days get filled with other people's problems. You stay late fixing things that you did not create. And when you finally need help, everyone is sadly busy. That's when you realize you're not just helpful, you have become everyone else's yes. You say yes before you even think about it. Not because you have time, but because you don't want to look difficult to work with. You don't want to let people down. And you don't want them to think you're lazy, selfish, or not a team player. But there's also a problem with that. If you say yes to every request, your yes stop meaning anything. It becomes expected, and people will keep giving you more work, meaning you gotta give them your time, your attention, and zone by somebody else. The goal is not to become cold. The goal is not to stop saying no. The goal is to stop agreeing to work before you know what it will cost you to actually do the work that needs to be done. Most people think they say yes because they are nice. That is part of it, but usually there is more going on. You may be avoiding the discomfort of disappointing someone. You may think saying no will create conflict. You may want people to see you as reliable. Or maybe you're just so used to solving problems that your first reaction is to simply pick it up. Someone asks, can you help me with this? And before your brain has even caught up, you say, yeah, I got it. And then you look at your own workload and you realize you already have 3 things to do. Now you're behind. In some way, somehow, you feel guilty for being behind. And that is a trap. You say yes to their task before checking what it had to do with yours. And being helpful isn't the problem at all. It's agreeing before you assess the request is the problem. Every request has a cost. It costs your time. It costs your focus. It may delay something your manager already expects from you. And if you never make the cost visible, people will assume you have a limited room, which you do not, because in general, nobody does. The first thing to change is simple. Stop answering immediately. You do not have to say no. You just need to stop saying yes on reflex. When someone asks for something, pause and then ask, what does this need and when does it due? Or I can look at it. What's the priority compared to what I am already working on? That isn't being rude. That's how adults manage work. You aren't rejecting them for their request. You're just simply getting information before that you need so you can commit to it if you want to. Think about it like someone is handing you a box. You would not say, sure, I can carry it before checking how heavy it is or where it needs to be moved to. Work is the same. Do not accept the box before you know what is inside. Meaning don't accept the work before you know what it involves. A lot of people get overloaded because they take on new work in silence. They already have a full day. Someone gives them task after task. And guess what? They accept it. And then they try somehow to do everything. That isn't discipline. That's poor prioritization. How the hell you say that word? If a new task affects your existing work, say it clearly. Or you can say something like, I can take this zone. It'll push back the part I'm finishing. Which one needs to move first? Now a person asking has to make a decision, and that matters. Because before this, they may not have known you had anything else going on. They saw you a person, they gave that person work, and that's completely normal. But once you show them the trade-off, they have a choice. They can say the new task is more important and they can move your deadline, or they can give it to somebody else. Or they may realize that it does not need to happen today. Either way, you're no longer secretly carrying 2 parties that cannot both be done well. You're making the work visible, but that's not making excuses. It's just you simply managing reality for both you and that person. This is where reliable people get burned. Someone has a problem, you step in to help. Then without anyone saying out loud their problem becomes your responsibility, and they stop working on it because you are handling it. They wait for your update, they ask you where it is, and now you are doing their job on top of yours. So learn the difference between helping someone and taking ownership from them. Instead of saying, I would handle it, say something, some sort of like, I can help you get started. Or, I can show you where to find that. Or, I can review it before you send it. Right? Those right there are very different promises. You're still been helpful, right? But you did not take the whole task off their hands. You gave them support without becoming their replacement. And that is a boundary. A boundary isn't a wall, it is a clear line between what you can help with and what you're responsible for. This one can be hard, especially if you are competent. You see someone struggling, you know you can finish the task faster than they can, so you take over. It feels efficient in the moment, but watch what happens over time. They do not learn, you get busier. They come at the next time, and then the next time. Soon, they're not asking because they truly need help. They're asking because they know you will save them from doing it themselves. That does not help them, and it does not help you. Sometimes the most useful thing you can do is show someone how to solve a problem, then let them do it. You can say something along the lines of, walk me through what you've tried so far. That question does two things. First, it tells whether you actually tried. Second, it makes them actually think. Maybe they only needed 5 minutes to work through it. Maybe they already done most of it and need one answer. Maybe they need training. But you will not know if you grab the task before they explain the problem. Do not make every single problem disappear for people. Help them become more capable. That's better for the team, and it keeps you from becoming the person everyone depends on, but nobody develops. Another habit that keeps people stuck is over-explaining every boundary. Someone asks for help. You say no. Then you give them your entire schedule. You explain every task. You apologize 5 times. You start trying to prove that you're still a good person. You don't need to do that. A short answer is enough. I cannot take that on today. Or I don't have the room to do that right now. Or I can help tomorrow, but I cannot do it today. That is a complete answer. If the person needs to understand the priority conflict, explain it. But do not explain your whole life just because you can't do one thing. The more you over-explain, the more people may treat your boundary like something they can negotiate. A clear answer gives them a clear answer gives them a clear answer. They might not like it, but that does not mean that it was wrong. This is important. When you stop becoming everyone else's yes, some people will act confused. They may say, "You've always helped me with this," or "It will only take a minute," or "I thought you had it," right? What they are actually telling you is that they got used to your old behavior. That does not mean you need to go back to it. People build expectations from patterns. If you say yes, they expect yes. If you start asking about priorities, capacity, and ownership, they begin to expect that instead. It may feel uncomfortable at first. It may feel like you're becoming less helpful, but you're not. You're becoming more deliberate, and there's a difference. The person who says yes to everything eventually becomes unreliable because too much work is sitting on their shoulders. The person who chooses carefully can actually finish what they usually agree to. That is more valuable. This can be harder if you are quiet. You may not want the conversation. You may feel like asking about priority will sound confrontational, so it feels easier to just accept the work and deal with it alone. The silent resentment is still a problem. Nobody knows you're overloaded if you never say it. Nobody knows the task is unrealistic until, if you promise it, it will be done. You don't need to become loud or demanding. You need to make the workload visible before it becomes a problem. You can be calm, you can be respectful, but you can still say, "I want to help. I need to understand where this fits my current work." That's not being confrontational, that's just you asking for clarity. And clarity protects you from becoming the person who's always busy, always helpful, and quietly getting buried. Now, stop saying yes before you know what you're agreeing to. Stop taking ownership of work that belongs to somebody else. Stop hiding your workload and hoping you can somehow get it all done. Start pausing before you commit. Start asking what needs to move when a new task comes in. Start helping people without doing the work for them. You don't need to become everyone's yes at work. You need to be someone whose yes means something. Because when you protect your time, choose your word carefully, and finish what you commit to, people don't see you as less reliable. They see you as someone who understands the value of their own time. If this helps you, subscribe. I make videos for introverted professionals who want their work and their judgment to be taken seriously.